pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, folks at home. Okay, we're going to go right into public comment on agenda items, and we have the property owner of 246 Main Street that would like to speak to us. Dr. Brewer, you have the floor.
Oh, I thought you wrote old business before new business.
No, well, I had public comment at first, and basically that's what you are, so.
Oh, okay.
So you would.
You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so use the microphone. Okay, so basically, as everybody in town is aware, we had a flood 2 years ago, and it knocked out a lot of infrastructure to the town, and FEMA was supposed to pick up a lot of the damage. They did, obviously some. I've been waiting 2 years to get an answer on my property, which sits on the river. Most of my parking lot has fallen into the stream. I have gotten copies of the original survey and then the survey when I bought the land from the town in order to put in sidewalks on the other side of my property. So in both of these surveys, the wall that was there, which was a stone wall, no concrete in that, is on either the town or the village's side of my property line. So we've been waiting 2 years to hear from FEMA, and FEMA has declined to do any more. So I have spoken to the mayor, Jim, and also the supervisor, and to find out who's responsible, or is it a joint venture, or what have you. I have no definite answers for that. All I know is there's damage to my property due to the fact that the wall that the village or the town had is no longer there and has now started to undermine my parking lot, and all the concrete blocks and everything have fallen, and my stairway has fallen into the stream. So, what I'd like to do is sit down with the town and or the village and hammer out some kind of agreement as to timing of reconstruction, since we know FEMA's not going to do it. But something's got to be done, because I'm out of patience. I've waited 2 years, and everybody points fingers at everybody else. The town points fingers at the village points fingers at the town, everybody wants to wait for FEMA. Well, FEMA's out of the equation now. So, I'm more than happy to sit down with representatives from the town and village and figure out what to do. But my only other option at this point, if nothing gets done, is to lawyer up and sue for damages and court costs and what have you. So I'd prefer to do it the easy way rather than the hard way, but I will be open to any suggestions. Okay. So that's my piece.
All right. Richie, you researched this. Would you like to speak on that, or?
I don't want to get myself in trouble, so Justin can step in at any time. It was rather interesting that the only deed on file for this place for the town was filed in August of 1899. They found it downstairs. I put a copy of it into Diamond Maps like I do, with a couple of pictures, so everybody with access to Diamond Maps has it now and forever. In that deed, you gotta remember that's back when they had links and chains and 66 feet. It was before tape measure and all that. In that deed, it clearly states that the town property is to the center of the stream. The stream then may not have been the same as what it is now. and it has a meets and bounds, somewhat of a meets and bounds in it. It's not all that clear. I don't know what Mr. Brewer's deed says. I didn't look at it. As you go up Highland Brook, you go up to 22 Mountain Avenue, looking at the tax maps. I didn't see the deeds. 22 Mountain Avenue, which we hope to see knocked down in the not too distant future, is out over the stream. At partial, and the tax map reflects that. The next lot down below that, the landowner owns all the way across the stream. The next one below that, as per the tax map, they own all the way across the stream. The thing with water is just like the American flag. Nobody really owns it. We all own it. So that doesn't mean tomorrow we can say, let's go put a wall up in the middle of the stream down there. So I'm not sure, aside from that, to say, not pointing any finger at anybody. All I'm saying is by the town's deed, by my read, which Justin I'm sure has a better fix on it, so we own to the middle of the stream. That's from 1899. I think that's the last one that was filed.
Okay, well, I have ones with meets and bounds that you're more than happy to get a copy of.
As you meet with people, sure, you know.
That shows where my property ends. Whose property beyond that is, I would assume, the town or the village, because I don't think anybody owns just the stream. So what's directly across from me is this building. And also, in the past, the town supposedly poured the wall that's next to my building when it originally was damaged by one of the named storms, either Irene or right before I bought it in '99. They poured that wall. So they took responsibility of it then, and the wall to my parking lot would just be an extension of that.
Justin?
So, I mean, the only thing I'd say is I haven't seen anything yet, sir, but happy to review the deed. I'm happy to review whatever documentation you'll leave, or I can make copies and return them, or whatever is easy for you. And we'll start looking into it, and I know you have a dialogue with the supervisor and with the council, so but that's the best I can promise you right now without really understanding more of the facts or seeing as...
Okay. I mean, I'd be happy to show you this then.
No, I understand, but, right, and just so there's not confusion on that, right? Frequently, there are fights, we call them battle of the surveyors, right? Right, where surveyors use purportedly known locations to start their work, to design, right? They're human too, right? And so sometimes there's discrepancies, or there's gores, or there's lapses in the way lines close. So again, I'm happy. I think the supervisor and councilman just asked me to review, and I'm happy to do so, but I don't know that I can give you an answer tonight.
I understand. I just want it on record and just to move the ball forward, that's all.
Certainly.
So can we borrow your...
Whatever's easiest for you to get me a copy, wonderful.
I can run tomorrow, I can walk next door and have them...
Sure, if
more copies.
if you leave them in town hall, I'll pick them up here.
Okay, very good.
Everybody okay? Dr. Brewer, you okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment on agenda items? Okay, I have the minutes of our June 24th meeting. Do I have a motion to accept as published?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried, thank you. I transferred $93,668 from the consolidated account to the paying account for this week's check run. The big items are Highland Falls Library third quarter contribution, $69,437. Our legal expenses for legal service is $8,227. VRI environmental services for water testing, etc., $3,250.
Diesel for sanitation, $1,740. Doyle's security system, the security system and radio monitoring for May through July, $1,719. Board liaison reports, we'll start with Councilman Sullivan.
Oh my God, you sure? Okay.
Go, Sully.
My apologies in advance. So on the subject of water, we became aware of a water meter that may have been malfunctioning down near Capitol Way. I asked Kelly for the inventory and had Tiffany check the usage. There were a few days, 2 weeks ago, where said residence was using 11,000 gallons per day. There are people filling swimming pools, so you'll see that pretty frequently. This particular place has a couple of people that don't get around that well anymore, and there's no way that 11,000 gallons are being used. So I had VRI go down there and take a look at it, and Leslie and Kelly would be on notice at billing time. We may have to make a correction there because VRI checked with Ion Water Badger, and they said there's nothing wrong with their meter. A meter should have a straight run. This particular meter has a vertical pipe coming down to a bend, goes about a couple inches. There's the meter, a couple more inches, and there's another 90 going up. So I don't really trust the installation all that much. We're going to monitor it, and at billing time, if we have to make an adjustment, we'll make an adjustment. So they haven't changed that meter yet. That's a work in progress. The other one is that I attended the village meeting, and it's on the subject of water. I was late, the public hearing started at 6:30. And the subject was on fluoridation, and I got my most recent water license in 2004, and when you go to that course, they teach you about fluoridation and how it came to be. I'm not going to get all into that. And some of the testimony I offered at the village meeting was dental health being significantly improved in people from Holland and other countries that had modeling on their teeth. I'm sure Dr. Brewer is very familiar with modeling. And so while we don't want to have brown teeth, they also found that there's significant dental improvement to decay. And being from Fort Montgomery, forgive me, Dr. Perry, he was on this board for many years, we called him Painless Perry, because I went to him one time with 17 cavities in one shot. And I think that's probably from growing up on well water. And in 1945 until 1955, there was a study in Kingston and in Newburgh. Kingston did not fluoridate and Newburgh did. And after 10 years, they found a very significant difference in the amount of tooth decay. Newburgh had a much better results. And so I would be looking for, before they get rid of fluoridation, put the same time and effort into where your facts are coming from as they did with a 10-year study to prove fluoridation. If it's an air contaminant or whatever else is being said, that's all fine and dandy. Prove it. And as a resident in Fort Montgomery and a user in the water district, I'm not in any rush to have fluorine removed from my water. That's just my opinion. I'm not speaking on behalf of the people in the water district. So I mentioned that at that meeting. The month of June in downtown outside the village in the two water districts, we averaged 78,000 gallons per day. It bumped up to 115,000 in a few days because of people filling their swimming pools. That's fine. The reservoirs are full. The water tank is complete. By our contract with the village, we can use up to 150,000 gallons a day. There's some other provisions in there that with the tank being complete and the check valve down by the Grace Baptist Church, we can use up to 200,000 gallons a day. That's in writing, okay? I'm only saying that and not saying anything except making a statement. At the village meeting, they talked about their usage being an average of 600,000 gallons a day. We're still over 100,000 gallons away from where we could be in the two water district. You take that information and do whatever you want with it. Just letting you know. On the sewer, so on the 4th of July, I did the 5K, and that was great. Then I went down to the battle site to watch a cannon fire at noontime, and that was kind of the end of my 4th of July until later in the day because the Oakwood pump station went down. And I was a mechanic welder part of my career. I liked being referred to as a junkyard welder. I could get stuff that didn't have parts to run most of the time. So that 38-year-old generator, which should be replaced, the alternator went bad, they couldn't get one. Gentech sent the guy out. He came back on Saturday. He removed it, welded up a bracket, used the same belt that the alternator would have used, and put in a trickle charger for the battery, which works off the generator when it's running. So it was only down for 2 days and it's operational. And Bob, I gotta tell you, after 38 years, it's time to get rid of that thing. So that we have to do something about it. But Gentech is a very good company to have a contract with, and I'm glad the guy's name is Alan. He did a really good job and saved us some trouble down there. The DPW is busy. They've had a few vacations, so a lot of the workforce is involved with sanitation. The Drew Road Drainage Project is just about done. I know Greg has been involved with the Mine Road, FEMA estimates and all that stuff, and since our mechanics said goodbye in short notice, Rick Jersey, who's a foreman, has been covering up there with some mechanical work. I was up there today, and it had ambulance 386 up in the air doing some work on it. I won't discuss what that was, but they were doing work on it, and I think it's back in service. Sanitation has become a hot and heavy subject. I'm going to throw a few numbers at you. For 2022, the municipal solid waste was 2,944 tons. Recyclables was 431 tons for that year. Our recyclables were 12% by weight of our total volume, our total amount. 2023, the MSW went up to 3,049 tons, and recyclables were 421 tons, again 12%. In 2024, the MSW was 3,001 tons, and the recyclables were down a little bit to 332 tons, hence being 10%. And so far in 2025, we're at 1,370 tons as of the end of June, and recyclables is 171 tons, so that's at 11%. They shoot for 20%, and while I think that's great, I would like people to also know that about 5 years ago, recycling was being taken for about $28 a ton. It is now up to $124 a ton, which is almost equal to what the municipal solid waste costs. The thing is, if you put the recyclables in, when you go down to Rockland County to dump it, they're gonna reject the load and throw you out. So we have to do it. It's a little bit disheartening to me that recycling costs that much, because we're going through the effort to try and get rid of it. I just wanted to bring, and we use Royal Carting to get rid of the recycle. Twice a week, they come take that container away. The cost of that container for them to do it, I think we need to review putting it out to state bid, because I think it's costing about $325 every time they pull it, and they're pulling it twice a week. I think we can do better than that. Tiffany has brought that up before. I think we need to review putting that out to state bid and having whoever come pull the container. At the battle site, has had events almost every Saturday. Last Saturday I went down there and saw Mr. Sean Blakely demonstrating munitions, powder horns, and lifestyle of Revolutionary War militia during a typical day back in 1777. He was accompanied by a few blacksmiths, and Stony Point had a reenactment for the 246th anniversary of the Battle of Stony Point, which I think is on July 16th. The Battle Site is a great organization. Please consider joining. Battle Site member is 15 per individual, 20 per couple, 25 per family, and if you want to be a real patriot, you can join the General Washington Club for $250. The forms to join are in the museum down at the Battle Site, okay? They're looking for members, and I told them I'm trying to help them. Bear with me. Ronnie Coffey, the historian, had a couple things that she highlighted. We've been the recipient of several fascinating artifacts and documents, including a piece of rail from the narrow gauge railroad at the Forest of Dean. That's interesting. A grant from the Daughters of the United States Army enabled us to buy archival boxes for the Iran hostage collection, which she displayed that in the library last year. The sit and chat, which I filmed most of them and put them on YouTube for them. where she talked about 7 people who made a difference over the last 100 years in Orange County. That was great. Meeting of historians from the town of Highlands, Putnam County, USMA, and Constitution Island took place on Constitution Island and resulted in some future collaboration plans among the 4 groups. Woodbury has this guy, Alex Progentes, that's their president, and he and Ronnie collaborate with some wonderful presentations over in Woodbury and some over here, and highly recommend that you look for those things. I don't have any particular dates right at the moment, but they put together some nice programs, and I wanted to give her a plug. And of course, to join the Historical Society, I don't have the form in front of me. I think it's $12 a year. They can use members also. The dues goes a long way to help them to accomplish things. Building. So I've met quite a few times with Philip, and every time I hear a complaint about a pile of garbage or an abandoned vehicle, I check with Philip to see it's followed up on it. And Phil normally has when I check on it. I want to talk about a particular place that has become a thorn in my side. Down at the senior center, there's a pile of garbage alongside of an abandoned car. It was not quite sure who it belonged to. So 2 landowners there were given violations. This is not that long ago. And it took a while for Philip to discover who the real landowner is. They go under LLCs. Some of them have addresses in Oklahoma and whatnot. It is very difficult to have immediate results on something like that. And in doing so, we go through the process with the Village of Highland Falls. Normally has to have a public hearing and all that. Meanwhile, you have garbage piling up that becomes a health hazard. On the garbage, in the Village of Highland Falls, more than 50% of all buildings are not owner-occupied. That means that they're a landlord. You can be, if you have a single-family residence, you're a landlord if you're not occupying it. A lot of these businesses, one up on Center Street, it's a business being run out of a residential spot up there. They do aluminum siding and such. They will take the siding from jobs and pile it up and leave it there until they get enough to take away for scrap. And a lot of these landlords, there's one right up on Schneider, a couple of houses above Cullum's Lane, in McCullum's Lane, where it belonged to a company that, I'm not gonna say the name of the company, I'll get in trouble, but they import couches and bed frames and stuff from all over the place, pile it up way beyond what the containers can hold. And then when we go to pick it up, it's not so much a guy's complaining, we're paying for a landlord who's importing stuff from somewhere else to get rid of it. So when we don't pick it up, and the village sends their DPW up there, and they're very glad that they do that, and they take it down to the village garage, and we go down there and get it anyway, that stuff is not being paid for by the landlords. And that law that we passed in April that addresses charging people by how many cans they have rather than by the number of apartments, we have to change that. And because every single person is going to try and get away with one dumpster or only dumping it once a week, or 2 cans, are going to always have less than what they need. So the guys, if we instruct them to not pick up any garbage that's not inside of a container, you're going to have half the garbage laying around not being picked up. So they're doing it by hand. And the mechanization was intended with the one-arm thing so that we didn't have to do that, so it'd all be in cans. So we're addressing it. And I'm not sick of garbage yet, though. If you want to give it to anybody else anytime you want to, I'm happy to surrender sanitation. We're working on it. Tiffany has all these accounts. There's 69 of them. I'm taking a spreadsheet. It's going to be a 4-month project. On that spreadsheet, I have getting pictures of all these things. On diamond maps, I've documented where they're at and when it's happening and how many dumpsters they have and how many days a week they're getting dumped. And I'm going to compile something over 4 months and come back with what it is that I think we should do, because at the moment, I can't give you a number. If you said how much you charge for an apartment rather than $375 for more than 2 cans, I'm not sure what that number is. I'm just saying it's not working right now. And my opinion is, it's because a lot of the buildings in Highland Falls are not owner-occupied. It's so difficult to track these people down. There's one up on 52 West Street, which had a public hearing at the last village board meeting. The bank is out in Oklahoma. The people that are said to own it don't really own it. It belongs to a bank. He's doing all that. And I feel bad for them because they have to do this 5-6 times. And in the village code for municipal solid waste, which was adopted in 1995, 2 years before we started picking up publicly, in that code, it says there's unlimited bulk pickup. It doesn't talk about how many items you can put out. So we've discussed it. When we change our regulations, I'm kind of hoping we can change them so that they're logical, effective, and not affected by codes that are outdated. Let me see if I have anything else. So that's my rant on that. The landlord registry law. The town does not have one. I made a mistake at the last meeting. You asked me that? I made the mistake of using AI and I typed in town of Highlands. It was town of Highland. They have one. The town outside the village does not. I'm not interested in having a landlord registry law. The village does. They started in 2009. I've made the announcement. It's on their website. There are people, a lot of us that are, I'm not a landlord anymore, but I was at one time. I'm happy to inform everybody that not one person is registered right now. Not one. Gabby has come up with a list on her own of 339 potential people. If that's a good place to start on the advice of council, that's what we'll do. But nobody has come forward to register for that. So if there's people living illegally in a place, we can't do a fire inspection unless it's more than 2 family. You can't get into the place to see it unless you have a landlord registry, which, like I said, nobody has. Melanie Guerrero was the last one that did it like 3 years ago. So that's it. There's nobody registered down there. And at the Patriot Garden, that well, even though it's close to the lake, is 424 feet down. It gets a gallon a minute. The sprinkler system down there has killed the thing a couple times. It burned up. It was $4,000 to replace it last time. So I asked Greg for a couple of hoses. I have a well that I don't use at my house. I stretched it over. We didn't need to water today, but I stretched it over so we can water. We'll get through September 11th, and we're gonna have to decide what we're gonna do with that well, because I don't wanna have to spend $4,000 every 5 or 6 years when it burns up. And that's my report.
Thank you, sir.
Could I ask a question about that, please? When you just said, if I was to bring up people that were renting places that are illegal and are not properly, it's not being done legally, will somebody go do a fire inspection on those?
I can't answer that. Will somebody see to it that they become registered? If it's in the village, we'll certainly.
No. I mean, if I've got people in the town that have illegal structures that they're renting or they have people living in them, will someone look into that?
Well, prove it. I mean, that's it's. Some people say, look at how many dishes are on a roof.
No.
That's
I mean, obviously, I have to give you viable. But obviously, if I do, does somebody have to go in there and look at it and shut it down?
I think you have to get a court order.
I don't know. I'm asking. We have an attorney here. He can tell me.
So you're free to bring complaints if you have them, but the town's enforcement is the town's responsibility, and how they allocate their resources is this board's responsibility. So
They say, no, I'm not going to look at it.
sure.
Okay, so they can just not look at it and say, I don't care. Okay, that's what I need to know.
All right, moving on.
We'll
Councilman
look
King.
at that later. Thank you.
Councilman King?
Good evening, everyone.
Shell shocked after me. Go ahead, Ty.
No, but you did almost put me to sleep, though. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, everyone at home. So very briefly, just a couple of things. No, but always, as usual, my colleague is very thorough, and I appreciate the report. First, I want to just say that the library, in my estimation, doing a great job, and I just want to say I met with Director Stacy Falk last week, amongst other meetings, but this one in particular was about the transition to summer programs for the youth. And so, obviously, kids are out of school, and so one in particular comes to mind is the reading program. So I'd like to let everybody in the community know that there is a reading program at the Highland Falls Library, full effect, and if your children don't have anything else to do, it'd be a great place to go. Secondly, we started our second series of the coloring with Councilman King. For those who don't know, that's happening at the library on Fridays. Did a 5 weeks actually, a month or so ago. That was a pilot program, and then the library asked us to come back. Essentially what that is we're using coloring as a way to get specifically seniors out of the house who are most vulnerable for loneliness. And so for those who don't have anything else to do, they can come down to the library. And when I say coloring, I'm talking about, remember, kindergarten, first grade, second grade coloring books. Believe it or not, there's some cognitive benefit to that. And certainly in our group, it's stimulating conversations and connections. So we started back for the second series, which goes from July 11th, which was last Friday, all the way to August 1st. Will be the 4 weeks that we'll do that. Down at the library, all supplies are free, so you don't have to bring anything. We got the crayons, we got the coloring books, we got colored pencils, and we even provide some light refreshments. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you got nothing else to do, come on down to the library. Recreation services for older adults. Got some exciting things happening starting August 2nd. August 2nd. Oops. Let me put these on and see how that works out. So, motor coach trip to Washington, D.C. One-day trip. Tour to the Smithsonian. How do you pronounce that?
You got it.
African American Museum. And so transportation is provided, and you go down for 1 day, you got lunch included, come on back. Secondly, we have August 13th, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., the 6th annual Senior Recognition Luncheon at Ritchie's. Some of our esteemed honorees are Miss Carla Burns, Miss Sheila Conklin, Miss Ronnie Coffey, Ron, how you pronounce his last name? Ron Court. Debbie Gonzalez, Miss Debbie Gonzalez, Mr. Craig, this is my own handwriting, by the way, I can't read. Mr. Craig. Is it Young? Yep, you're right. Craig Young, I did write that down. And Miss Judy Downey.
Jody Downey.
Jody Downey.
J-O-D-Y, you're right. Jody Downey. These glasses are not working, okay? So those are the folks that will be honored. That will take place at Ritchie's. That is on August 13th. It's 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Feel free to come out and help recognize those esteemed seniors who do so much volunteering in our community. And the third and final thing, we have Monday through Friday, August 18th to 22nd, there's a cruise to Bermuda from NYC. That's New York City. But we do have transportation from Highlands Falls, New York. So, man, that's exciting. Bermuda, you want to go to that one?
I'd love to.
All right, let's sell some cans or something. Maybe we can go. That's all I have, Supervisor.
All right, sir, thank you. Councilman DeWitt, please.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for braving the rain.
That's August 13th.
Ty, I'm gonna add a few things to where you left off.
Well, I set it up for you. Go ahead.
Like you listen, a lot of these events that Ty's talking about, and there's many more actually right up through the end of the year. Stop in the center, a couple doors over. They're there on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. They have a website, thecenterhf.org. I just tried to go on it and it didn't work, but I don't know if the Wi-Fi is out again. But the center's got a lot of programs going on, like as Ty mentioned, bus trips coming up to Lancaster, PA, casino trips in Bethlehem, PA, bingo nights, You heard some of the local one too, the lunch. I'm glad you brought it up because I'd like to go to that myself. But again, information tickets hit the center, and they can tell you all about it on Thursdays and Saturdays between 10 and 12. Thank you. You saved me a whole lot of talking, Ty.
I appreciate you for
No
cleaning up the
problem.
rest of it for me.
There's really not any bad news, but the Dial-A-Bus, they had to cancel the swim hour transportation starting today. Nobody's been using it, so they're not going to do it. The swim hour is at the Roe Park Pool, but again, I guess people are getting there on their own. So just to let people know that transportation will not be going on. Aaron Falk in the Recreation Department also have a lot of things going on this summer. You could like the Town of Highlands on Facebook to get information on all the events going on. I'd like to mention a few. Let's start with the first summer concert series is going on at Roe Park. Richie, I was waiting for you to talk about that because you said you were in the email, but
I can't make the first one, unfortunately.
you can't make the first one. Again, there's the Uncanny Earworms. You know that band?
Sounds like the group Anthrax to me. I mean, no, it's a funny name.
Anyway, July 16th, July 30th, Danny and the Cruisers, August 13th, YES, yes, August 27th, Danny and the Cruisers. We all know who they are, a good friend of ours, Danny's in, and the local guys playing in that band. It's all happening between 6:30 and 8 p.m. at the Roe Park Pavilion. Bring your own lawn chair. Again, go to the Town of Highlands Facebook page. Aaron's got stuff posted up there about all the summer concerts, again, starting this week, July 16th. And on the youth programs, he's got a lot going on with the kids. They're off to a really good start. Week-long lacrosse clinic this past week. Soccer clinic is slated for the first week of August at James I. O'Neill. Tennis clinics are also going from August 18th through the 22nd at JIO. The third annual Kids Day event is looking for August 30th. That should be coming up. The Roe Park Pool remains open for daily swim every day from 12 to 5. Introduction to swim, senior swim, and century swim are also available. Please check the pool calendar posted on the Facebook page for the exact schedule and times. They recently did a road trip with the kids to the Maritime Aquarium at Norwalk. They had a really good time. I saw a bunch of us saw all the pictures from it. It was a really good road trip, and I guess while there, Aaron managed to procure some vouchers. So if anybody would like, they're good for one free child admission to the Maritime Aquarium in Norwalk with the purchase of an adult ticket. If anybody wants to grab one of those vouchers, you can reach out to Aaron, and you can leave him a message here at the town hall. He's got his own extension 318. See, that's it, everything. That's it. Thank you very much. I was away last week, but I know the cemetery committee met. I have not heard an update. Hopefully by next meeting, we'll have some more answers about what's going on. There's some questions about just things needing to be tidied up at the cemeteries. My last drive-through 2 weeks ago, I thought everything was looking pretty tidy.
They spent the day there today, the highway department.
And there's the answer. Okay, thank you for that. So that everything should be nice and tidy. And we'll have more updates about the other things that we've been working on. Hopefully we can put them to rest this summer. And I'll have more updates next meeting. Thank you.
Councilwoman Swarbrick, please.
Thank you. I just have ambulance corps reports for May and June. In May, there were 73 calls dispatched, 65 calls were answered. Of the 8 unanswered calls, 1 was canceled, EMS unit was canceled. 3 were second calls at the same time, and there was no second crew available. And on 4 of them, there was no driver, or it was either driver or EMT available. I don't know which is which on the particular calls. In June, 59 calls were dispatched. 48 were answered, 11 were no response. Of those, again, 4 were second call and no second crew available. And on 7 of them, no driver or EMT available. So as I always do, I put out a request that if anybody has any inkling to volunteer, the Town of Highlands Volunteer Ambulance Corps can use your services. And then the only other thing, at the Firecracker 5K, I'm pretty sure the most important thing to know is that I did not finish last in either my age group or overall. I think I was ahead of about 30 people, to include
Yeah, you were way ahead
Councilman
of me.
DeWitt, although I believe that Councilman Sullivan, I landed right in the middle of the trustees, or of the council members, so Rich was ahead, but it was a good day, it was a lot of fun.
Make sure you note that none of us ran, we were walkers.
Oh, yeah. If you ever see me running, you should run too, because there's something that's chasing me. It's probably like a bear or a clown or something, so let's be very clear about that. And that's everything I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Chief, you have anything?
I have the statistics for June. The police department responded to 637 calls for service. We handled 5 cases, made 2 arrests, initiated 97 traffic stops, wrote 45 tickets, and handled 8 motor vehicle accidents.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. We have an esteemed member of the village board here tonight, which I have difficulty pronouncing her name. So is there anything you'd like to say?
No, thank you.
Nothing?
That's a great introduction. Come on, Jen.
Hey, what can I say? I hate to butcher the name, so I'll just
It's not
stay with it.
Gargiulo Produce, unfortunately, it's not the weatherman.
All right, okay. On my end, I went to the village board meeting where they had a public hearing, and Richie was there too, on the fluoride in the water. I guess they'll have between, you can correct me if I'm wrong, between now and September, at every village board meeting, there'll be a public hearing on the fluoride in water. I intend to go to as many as I can. I think Richie will be there. The main reason I'm going is I don't think the town outside the village would have any kind of impact on whether or not they take the fluoride out or not. Of course, if they hear from me and I hear from the town, I'm sure that will have an impact. But we buy our water from the village, and what the village board decides to do with the water is what we're going to get. So,
Did anybody, Richie, if you said it, I missed it. Regardless of what the federal mandate is, can town or the village, can they do what they want with the fluoride, or based on public?
That's already been done. Over in the town of Yorktown, they stopped fluoridating in December of last year. If you saw in the Times Herald Record, the town of Ossining has a woman who was a dental hygienist for 30 years that's the supervisor, and she's opposed to them removing it. So I don't like to see things, everything's political, I guess. I don't like to see things become political. A 10-year study is what I based my thoughts on. And I would just love to have local demographic information over the people in Fort Montgomery before we had public water, tooth health, as opposed to now. And I'm pretty sure you'd see that, it's a contaminant once you get up to 2.2 parts per million. We're getting it at about 0.5 parts per million. So it's well below that. And, as far as detrimental health effects, why are people getting autism, et cetera, and so on, Diet Coke, aspartame, if fluoride has something to do with it, if that's where they're going, prove it. That's all I'm saying, just prove it.
Well, I think it's interesting too to go out to Rockland County and gather those statistics.
Yeah, exactly.
Rockland County, 60 years they've never said that they were going to put fluoride in the water. So it's interesting to get a dentist from out there in a couple of different places to see and kind of counter what really is going on. Again, it's a personal, I'm glad the conversation is open, I'm glad it's open, and it's a personal thing.
so we'll be working with the village and help them with their decision if we can.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Again with water, since Garrison Pond is now a wetland, I have the permit for us to use chemicals to get the weeds out. The permit is a 5-year permit, and I think we're paying for that each year.
600 a year
Yeah.
rather than the $3,000, yeah.
So I have the permit, I just got it, and it's available.
It looks pretty good, the lake.
Justin, did you have anything?
Just the resolution request by the town clerk on health insurance.
Okay, with probations, if you remember last meeting, I said that we really didn't act on probations the way we should. Acting on them means me just announcing them. And Rebecca Nagel, up in the Comptroller's office, her probation ended July the 1st. Lisa Rivera's probation ended July 22nd. And let's see, Rick Jersey, as foreman, his probation ended on May the 13th. And with those probations, meaning they've stuck with us for a while, not that this person is quitting, but Jamie Del Rio, Officer Jamie Del Rio, due to unforeseen circumstances, I must tender my resignation from the Town of Highlands Police Department, effective today, June the 23rd, 2025. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to you for the opportunity that you afforded me to work for you at the police department. I have a motion to accept the resignation from Jamie Del Rio.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have another resignation. This would be from the Highway Department. I'm writing to inform you that I will be resigning from the Town of Highlands mechanic's position. I appreciate the opportunities and the knowledge I have gained during my time at the Town of Highlands. My last day will be Wednesday, July the 2nd. Please let me know what I can do to make the transition smooth as possible. Do I have a motion to accept the resignation?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Who was it?
Jake Bellinger.
Okay, I received a letter from UPSEU, United Public Service Employees Union. They would like to have a meeting with us concerning a formation of a union in the ambulance corps. Justin has been in touch with them, and Justin, our meeting is the 24th?
24th of July, yes, correct.
So Justin, Nancy, and I will meet with representatives from the ambulance corps, and here is Stephen Wyland, which he's the labor relations representative. I have a request from Olga to allow the Ukrainian flag to be flown on the town hall on the week of August the 24th. That is, August the 24th is Independence Day for the country of Ukraine. I've researched a little bit about it, and it appears that it's not legal, if that's the right word, to fly another country's flag on a public building. Now, I know they do fly flags next door, Irish, Greek, etc., but I just thought I would leave it up to the board for a vote as to whether or not we wanted to fly the flag, the Ukraine flag.
I vote no, under the circumstances you just explained what the rule is.
Okay, so I'll ask All those in favor?
We need a motion and a second. We didn't get that far yet.
You got me, yeah.
I made the motion.
You got me all confused.
Okay.
Yeah, he's out there voting and I didn't even get a motion. So Tom made a
Motion to
motion.
deny the request?
Motion to deny the request.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. And I hope Olga will understand, and because she is a very good working partner with the town, but we really can't do something that would upset the president.
Tell her I walk down the street with some little Ukraine flags if she'd like to do that, but not on the public building.
Good. Okay, good. I'm glad I put it on the agenda because I almost took that on my own. I don't have the resolution. So Justin, you can handle it.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Sure.
First of all, our town clerk will be retiring within the next couple of years with 30 years of service. There are certain things in the employee's handbook that gives her, Justin will read it further, but gives her certain benefits in her retirement. And she is worried, if that's the right word, that whoever might replace us might change it. I don't really see how we can, but if it's as simple as us reinforcing the regulation.
Sure, this is just a confirmation of your existing regulations in your handbook. June has served more than 30 years in her position, in her full-time position. So right now, currently under the handbook, she's entitled to have her health insurance premiums paid upon retirement. And this resolution just confirms exactly what is in existence right now in your book. There would be the ability down the road for town boards to change parts of their handbook, including this provision if they so choose. There's notice provisions to the town clerk or any other retiree when you do that, if you're changing something that has impact to them. But this would confirm right now your understanding based on her hiring date and the provisions that she'd be entitled to the premium payments for health insurance.
Do I have a motion to move the resolution?
Motion.
Second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sullivan?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt?
Aye.
Councilmember Scorbett?
Aye.
Supervisor Livesey?
Aye. Public comment. I'm going to limit public comment to 3 minutes a person.
I only got 2 seconds.
Okay.
So, the recreation for older adults, that's one program. Then we have the Highlanders, and then we have Salty Seniors. Do we still have those too? Why do we have 3 senior groups? Can we just collaborate, get together? I don't care who doesn't like who. We have a building underutilized, and everybody just needs to get off their high horses and get together. We still have a pretty nice senior group in this community. That's all I have to say.
Annie, the last time I went to a senior meeting, I thought someone told me there's no salty group. I don't know.
What is the salty group?
Yeah, I didn't know if they were still in existence.
I don't know. I don't
Or
know,
not, but
I
it
thought
seems
there
like we keep branching.
It stands for something, seniors, ALT, I'm not sure.
We keep branching off, and I can't imagine the resources that would come together if people would learn to just put their hats off that they don't like somebody and put it back on when they come out. That's all.
Okay.
I think a lot of times too, some of the considerations were people work. So there's a nighttime club, and then there's the seniors who, I think is there a grand opening of the senior center coming up or a grand reopening? I had something on my calendar in a few weeks from now. Okay,
I just see that it's a splintering all the way across.
And it's, again, you probably everybody can get together and have a conversation and talk about it.
One group could plan daytime and nighttime meetings just as easily. than being two separate.
It's up to each group individually, I would
No,
imagine,
it's
but,
not, Joe, it's about,
well, I mean, it's not for us, it's not in our parameters.
no, it's not
I
in
mean, we
your
can.
purview, I'm just saying, you discuss it, so.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, that's one thing I know with the Salties, like, people work so they can get together at night. That's one of the reasons I heard, that's all.
Just to clarify as the liaison, so there's got to be a distinction between folks who make clubs and they decide they want to be organized as some sort of club in the community and the town's exercising its duty to take care of seniors. Because the Highlanders, as far as I know, is a independent club. You can choose to be in the club or not in the club. But as a municipality, we're concerned about all seniors, no matter if they're in that club or not.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, why do we have recreation for adults and don't have recreation for Highlanders? Or, I don't get it anymore. And it's just, there's so many resources out there when you combine things, rather than, it's just, and all of you know, it's about who likes who. I don't care who likes each other anymore. I don't have to answer for my opinions. It's just my opinion. Take it or leave it.
All right,
Enjoy
okay.
it.
Mr. Miller?
Yeah, I have a FOIL to the Comptroller's office. Is there a reason that's being delayed? Do you know anything about this? I had foiled the records from the Comptroller. I gave him a thumb drive to put the information on. I haven't received that.
I don't know all of the back and forth. You've got multiple files in. As far as I know, I'm thinking of the proper foil, which was how many years of records of the Comptroller's office?
Prior to the storm, a couple of months to present. Yes, and I wanted everything, including all documentation, including receipts, bills, whatever. I asked for that, and I'd like to have that.
Sure. So I do believe there was a response along the lines. I don't know that I saw it definitively.
But they didn't give me a definitive date, or even an approximate date.
I understand. I believe they said that the request was burdensome, and so therefore it didn't meet the proper requirements, and they offered you the opportunity to make a more defined request.
How can I be more defined than I want everything? I don't understand.
If that is what you responded back to them, which
I
I'm
did.
not aware, well,
Of course I
okay.
did.
I don't know whether you did or didn't, but it certainly didn't reach me. But at that point, the town would need to evaluate who could produce those records, the cost of that employee to reproduce the voluminous records.
Let my attorney handle it for me then. I'll have that one come back from the
Fine.
attorney. That's
That's
fine.
fine.
I'm not going to pay the town to give me records.
Well, that's what the FOIL law allows for when it is a voluminous request, because there is going to be someone who has to stop working on their regular town work to...
They can't just download the files for that period of time. That takes a lot of time, doesn't it? Well, that's okay, because we'll
Happy to get your attorney's request.
Okay, we will handle that one. Also, what is the procedure when you decide who's going to be prosecuted after they clear cut and bring in fill and whatnot? A lot of people get like a stop work, no fines, nothing is done, no remedial work, and other people get slammed. Who makes that decision and how do they do that?
Well, I think it's public comment, not really question and
Well,
answer.
no, because
but-
I have to ask you, because I can't get the answers. He's not going to answer me. That guy is, I believe, he's delaying my getting answers. And I brought a question, and I said, why am I getting a shutdown on a fill permit, and somebody else was allowed to go forward and clear cut, and I am getting fined and dragged before the board?
When have you ever gotten fined? Fined. Let's talk about
Oh,
fines.
I'm sorry. I'll cut back on that. I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars
That's
because...
not a fine. That's not a fine.
Oh, you're correct. And also, I was...
Mr. Miller, your 3 minutes is up. I'd like you to leave.
Bob,
You
you
hear what I
are
said?
so dirty. You know that? You really are. Stop.
I'm asking you to leave.
I don't care.
You don't
I have
care?
a question.
Chief?
Asked to leave.
Okay, I'll leave. Thank you.
I know you will.
You're a terrible human.
Is there any other public comment? How about you folks in the back? Oh, no, we're good.
Working on some scout requirements.
There you go.
Picked a good meeting.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm working on my Eagle Scout right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Meeting you, Chester.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually pretty quiet, so you got a little good taste. Welcome.
Sleeping good.
I am an Eagle Scout.
Really?
Since 1952.
Congratulations, sir.
1952. Congratulations. I'd like to know, if you would, when your Court of Honor will be, once you become Eagle Scout. I would appreciate knowing, because I'd like to go.
I'll reach out.
Okay.
I'm working on my last 2 merit badges, so.
Congratulations, John.
Is there any other public comment?
Elijah Phillips.
Dr. Brewer, you got anything more? Or?
No, other than, who should I give these surveys to? Would that be you, or?
Leslie, and Leslie will get them to the right.
Okay. Because the village has copies of these as well, and then their engineer has copies, the previous engineer, the previous administration, so it just keeps going around, so. I will give these.
Once you make copies, then get the originals back to Dr. Leslie.
Stop by.
Stop by tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll make copies. Thank you.
Yes.
For Memorial Park, could Olga talk to your board about flying a flag there, since it's a memorial park? Would that be
I'm
appropriate?
uncomfortable with it, and it's not personal, it's something I'm uncomfortable just again for those reasons.
No, I didn't know what the.
No, but they do the country, yeah, they do all of them.
No, because it's a memorial park, it's a world thing. Like you said, there's an Irish flag being flown there, so that would seem to be the appropriate place. Could she reach out to? Just come to Village Hall?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would that be the people overlooking?
No, I don't know if I do in this jacket.
Again, you can ask Jim, you can talk to Mary.
Oh, yeah. Got one.
All right, so.
Thank you.
Anything you want me to see,
Motion to adjourn?
email me,
I make the
call
motion.
me.
Second.
All